Learning how to hinge is one of the most important parts of strength training, regardless of running or just in general aspect of life. When we think about the hinge, it's movements like our Romanian deadlift, our deadlift, hip thrust, glute bridge. All of these use actions of flexion and extension at the hip, which is what we're going to go through today. So in a simple term, as you would have seen at the start of the video, our hinge, which can be seen really easily in our RDL position, is this sliding back of the hips, getting to the point where hamstrings are engaged, and then driving forward. It's that hinging motion that we're going to learn today. Easiest way that I find to teach this is grabbing a dowel, broomstick, whatever you've got that's long enough to be able to use for this. Put it behind the back of your head and go in contact points of head, shoulders, and hips. Hand above your head, hand below your hips, and then from here, soften the knees, feet underneath your hips, and then slide your hips back like they're on a shelf. So if you imagine right now I had a wall behind me, I'm trying to push my hips along that shelf into the wall. And what you notice as I'm doing this, these 3 points of contact are staying together the whole time. So as I move forward, soften those knees, slide the hips back, those 3 points of contact are never coming off. Now for me to go past this point, I'd have to remove one of those point of contacts. I'm not going to do that, so I'm going to stand up, make sure I fully engage my glutes to squeeze and get the full hip extension at the top. So that exercise using dowel is a great way to, first off, learn how to do a hinge movement, but then also as a way to reactivate before your session. So if you're doing your activation exercise, your mobility exercises, you get to the hinge and you want to refresh, practice, move specifically for that movement, grab a dowel and go through that. Now, an alternative way to do that same kind of practice is grabbing yourself a roller, putting it at your hip height, hands resting on the roller, and then from here, doing that same idea, sliding the bum backwards and sliding your arms down the roller, keeping contact the whole time. Now again, you're going to see a very similar end range position. I can't get my arms to go down any further, so I'm sliding back up. Notice as well here, my upper back stays very, very flat, like itself is a shelf or like it's carrying a tray of drinks. To go any further past this point, I would have to lose that shape, which we don't want to see. So we want to keep that engagement in the upper back nice and flat, and then coming back up to full extension. Once you've gone through those movements, we can progress that using dumbbells or using a barbell like I'm going to do now. This will depend on what I've programmed and what stage of development that you are, but for the sake of showing this all off, again, using the barbell, because this is the one where it's a bit different, hand placement just outside of your shoulders, gripping the bar, thumbs are wrapped around. From here, soften those knees, and then keep the arms straight, but keep them relaxed. And that will let the bar come away from the body as I hinge down. Standing back up to full extension. And notice it's key here that the arms are able to come away from the body, because if I was to keep the bar close, the movement becomes very restricted. And if you stay tense, again, it's just not what we're looking for. So shoulders are back, hinging down, bar comes away from the body, get to my end range and stand up. And there you have it. That's the hinge. It's not super complicated, but it does take a lot of time to learn and to progress. If you're not local and we haven't had a one-off PT session to go through this form stuff, which is most of you, please do send as many videos as you like of your form. I'll critique it, give you some actionable steps to try and improve it. Thanks so much for watching. Any questions, just hit me up. I hope this has been helpful as a quick tutorial for how to perform the hinge movement pattern, specifically looking at the RDL or Romanian deadlift.